if 100 Thieves are able to pull it off, take them down, it would be an incredible story.
And they certainly are coming in with a lot of momentum. I will say Quid was looking like Goliath yesterday on that Yone with the sweetest 5-man ult I have ever seen. It was so clean, and that has been a big part of 100 Thieves' strategy here. So in game one, in most of their series,
they will.
When they give up the Orianna, they always pick Quid, a melee champ, into it. It has been Akali until Akali is banned, which FlyQuest are also doing here. Last time, they then switched off the Akali into the Aurora matchup for him, and he performed really well on the Aurora as well. But it's the same idea for 100 Thieves. They give over these low mobility carries seemingly early on, and then they pick their kind of attack flank style into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone who has given Quid the Yone has regretted it. He has won every time he has played it. You know, all 3 games, 100% win rate throughout these best of 5s. You know, they have really focused on putting him on these aggressive playmakers, and that is where he is excelling.
All right, so bans are done in the first half. Yone, Vi, Akali, banned out by FlyQuest. 100 Thieves getting rid of the standard Pantheon and Azir for red side, along with the Poppy. First pick for FlyQuest is the Wukong here for Inspired. Putting him on a powerful AD jungler means I'm looking for some AP solo lanes next to it as 100 Thieves locks Orianna for Quid.
Yeah, it's the reverse of the strategy. FlyQuest are deciding, you know what? We've seen what you've been doing in these first games versus all the other teams, so we are going to take the engage part instead. Early pick the Wukong, which is usually paired with something like Annie, but that's why 100 Thieves then go Orianna, because they say, okay, fine, if you want an Annie with your Wukong, then you're going to have a rough matchup and play into an Orianna who is going to outrange you, and we even get our own combination of engage with Orianna plus Rivers Jarvan. That shockwave with Jarvan engage is super threatening, so do like the 100 Thieves side here, and I don't think FlyQuest should go with the Annie, because your lane is just a little bit too rough, and so they do the Viktor instead. Much better lane matchup there, and much more comfortable for quad.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, if I'm FlyQuest, I think I'm extremely confident if you were just playing a scaling macro game. That is really where they have excelled. I do think that 100 Thieves, when they are at their best, is when they have a lot of aggressive pieces. They can find skirmishes, force fights, and kind of individually outplay. And FlyQuest has been almost unbeatable, it feels like, in the organized, slow-paced games. And this is the style that they're going to be wanting to play here with Yunara plus the Viktor. It's scaling, it's team fight. It's FlyQuest, I think, in their comfort zone here, as Dhokla, as he always seems to do, is going for this Rumble. Ever since he's come in, he's been going to it time and time again. And
it's another extremely good pairing with Jarvan here. I feel like 100 Thieves are really crafting to some of their strengths. You have Jarvan to keep people in with the Cataclysm, Rumble Ultimate on top of it. Again, when you're facing something like the Viktor, these low mobility carries, they are always looking to attack. And Dhokla's Rumble has been very successful for the Thieves.
It really has. It's going to be interesting to see if FlyQuest are going to try to limit some of the AD carries available here for FBI. He does seem to kind of go a couple different options when they are playing these heavy dive things. Either it's a Jhin to kind of support, it's an Ezreal to be able to have that safety and that long range to be able to kind of come through with that. Or we do sometimes see a Senna, you know, kind of mixed in, unless he wants to go really aggressive, and then he can kind of go Kai'Sa or Lucian. So there's a lot of different ways they can look here. I'm going to be interested to see what sort of style they really want to bring out. And Corki going to be the first ban there for FlyQuest in second phase.
Exactly. FlyQuest looking towards those bottom lane matchups that might be more annoying for Yunara to have to deal with. Meanwhile, on the other side, because 100 Thieves have their top laner, FlyQuest do not yet have Bwipo's pick locked in. They removed that very standard Galio counter pick against the Rumble. Want to take that one out of the picture and guarantee that Bwipo is not able to play from a position of strength very early on in the game. As Bard will be the next ban here for 100 Thieves. Very much respect that one, keeping it out of Busio's hands. He has been an absolute monster on the pick.
You got to pay the tax at this point. That is the champion I by far the most associated with Busio. He's the best Bard in the league, and you do not want to give it to him in a good spot.
All right, what is it going to be here for the Thieves? FBI has been quite good recently for this team. A lot of mobility is available, so even though they are looking at like Wukong engaged, I mean, could be an option.
We're stacking circles.
We're going to go for a strong lane, as well as just continue to go for more engage here. I actually really like this look, grabbing the Neeko here for Eyla.
Yeah, it's all just AoE ultimates, throwing down tons of CC to be able to lock them down for that shockwave, for that equalizer. It's a clear game plan here from 100 Thieves, and it is all based around these ultimates. Really excited to see what the final pick is going to be for FBI. Clearly, I think they want to have a bit of a conditional pick here, try to potentially be able to really win that 2v2. When you go Neeko, you already have a super powerful support for the lane. So I'm curious to see, will it be an Enchanter here on the FlyQuest side to try to bolster their 2v2?
I'm feeling Jhin for the 100 Thieves side. I feel like that long range and follow-up and a lot of CC would complement it really well.
I feel like I could see Jhin, I could see Ezreal, or I could see Kai'Sa kind of as his options that kind of fit the FBI style and do kind of fit what they're drafting here for the comp. Busio, because they want that extra go button, he's not going to go in towards an Enchanter or anything like that. So I do think, you know, if FBI is going towards that Jhin that you're expecting, they have Prio in the 2v2. Also with the Ezreal, you can really get Prio in that 2v2. So I think they have a couple really strong options here. I don't like the Kai'Sa that I was talking about as much from this position, but we'll see if he's going to go for option number 3, a mystery door here.
Would you expect then, since we already do know it's Neeko plus AD carry versus a Rell Yunara lane, the Rell and Yunara are going to try to get out of there faster than otherwise. Okay, Smolder. Never mind. All right, going for some scaling power here.
So the nice thing about Smolder is you can kind of similarly to Ezreal, you can assist the dive with your ultimate, you know, from long range. And I guess he is feeling, because he is paired with a Neeko, that they're going to have a pretty strong 2v2 that you can kind of stack and scale. And I'm interested to see how this does work out, because Smolder is slow, but it does give them some really powerful scaling options to try to match that of Massu on the Yunara here. You know, yes, this is a lot of team fight, but they have some powerful scaling here too.
Especially because they're playing versus Wukong jungle. So Wukong jungle is not going to have a really high, like, pre-6 threat to go to the Rell. And so if you're playing Smolder with double, you know, range for Smolder plus Neeko into a lane that has Rell, then maybe can get a lot of stacks early on and have like a smooth kind of ramping there.
So are you guys feeling one side solidly one draft over the other here, or is it rather just a difference of game plans?
I think both drafts are really, really strong. Honestly, both teams, I think, got kind of what they wanted. It's going to come down to execution. To me, if 100 Thieves can win, you know, this sort of draft, that really spells good things for them in the series, because I do think they're playing relatively standard. You know, it's not anything crazy. It's not Quid on a melee champion where he can kind of really look to try to take over. He's playing Orianna. It's going to be about team fight execution. I feel like that is the bread and butter of FlyQuest. So through that sense, I do favor them with nameplates on. But as far as just the drafts, I think both teams got really great things.
Yeah, Quid not on a melee champion is one of those things that doesn't feel as good as it could, but on the other hand, Dhokla with his Rumble has been working a lot of magic with it. He's had a lot of success on this champion.
Yeah, plus you've got River Jarvan here, so I think the Thieves do have some comfortable stuff. Eyla as well had some really good Neeko games. So we'll see about the playmakers for 100 Thieves, because I think there is going to be a lot of focus on River and on Eyla. The Jarvan and the Neeko are all of the setup here for this team, so you have to have them really making openings here for the DPS.
Okay, so we're waiting on everybody to get started here, waiting for minions to spawn, but I'm hearing reports that Quadmas came twice this year.
Minions have spawned.
Meow, 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 meow.
A holy cat version. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. I know the lyrics for that version. Blah, 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 blah. Quad, you're a blah. Am I blah? You're blah, blah.
One of my favorite holidays, Quadmas.
This is powerful level 1 comms right now, boys.
Blah is a popular emote for Ben, the best Path of Exile player in his Twitch channel, and I know Bwipo is a huge PoE fan, so I think that's why Bwipo went
is that the originator of it? It's the crossover episode?
Yeah, I think that's why he went for it. Bwipo, though, taking a couple of harpoons as he tries to get the lane from Big Dokes, who said in our interview with him right before this, he was pretty honest. Yeah, he's got some beef with Bwipo, so this top lane has some extra ego going into it.
That always makes it fun to watch here. Early on, as you see Busio go for that crash down level 100 Thieves. Happy to just use the heal to get the extra little bit of combat power to get away from it. But now Busio yet again ready to try to commit. Massu flashing forward. FBI down to 100 HP. The Smolder about to die. Flashes and barriers to stay alive. The pressure is on in the bottom lane from FlyQuest.
The timing's so good. So they charge up the Q for Massu, and once you have Yunara's Q ready, like, her level 1 is insane. And so Busio goes for the play immediately, flashing in They get a lot of health in addition to trading all these summoner spells. That means both junglers pathing down towards bottom side. They're pathing towards a lane that is very volatile with everybody using summoner spells down here. The only one that's left is Eyla's Flash.
Well, I just love how the FlyQuest duo played this out. Nicely done by Eyla, stopping the base there from Massu. Busio does get it into Crash, but it's just so smart because if you play out this lane slowly, you will slowly get whittled down by the Neeko. You're going to lose the 2v2. So they find an opportunity to look for the all-in there to force those summoners off FBI, to send him back to base, and to create an advantageous situation in a very difficult 2v2. It's really, really smart stuff here. Even with FBI doing PTA here on Smolder, which I think is more of kind of a nod towards the early game. It's not something I've seen a lot. It's almost never, ever used in Pro. And they're able to make it work, and that's one of the most impressive things about this FlyQuest duo.
Okay, Inspired looking at River's side of the jungle here as he and Busio are trying to control this bottom side area for the Scuttle Crab, but River has his teammates here first. With Eyla and FBI nearby, it means that the 100 Thieves jungler can immediately take control over the Scuttle Crab and secure that for himself.
Yeah, we'll see about the follow-up down there, because I guess the real test of the value of the play is going to be if there is some sort of jungle pressure follow-up. And so you see a lot of investment in vision down there on that bottom side too. Not only do they have bot side warded 400 Thieves, but they also have the ward on the second respawn of Raptors to see when Inspired is re-clearing on the Wukong.
And it was a quiet thing, but really that Eyla interrupt on the recall from Massu was such a big deal because that killed the tempo of Massu that they had really gained from that play. That bought time for FBI to get back as he gets solo killed.
Done! First blood from Quid, putting the pressure onto Quad's Viktor.
What is Quadmus to a Quiggle? Quid going for the solo kill after teleporting back. He chooses his moment because he goes back, he gets his buy, he teleports in, and immediately forces the kill onto Quad. Quid has just been on fire. It is crazy.
He has been incredible, and I wasn't even talking about it because I didn't think that Quad was going to stay around long enough to actually get taken down. But 100 Thieves on a tear, and they're looking for that one last job. It has been one last job so many times in a row now. This team just refusing to lose. And look at this incredible run that they have had through the lower bracket, taking down Lion, who was favored against them, then 3-0ing TL, beating C9, that expected finalist 3-2, another sweep against Shopify, and now they are here. It has been such an incredible turnaround from this 100 Thieves squad.
And you have to remember, the reason that this graphic starts in the lower bracket isn't because we had to cut off the part where they lost in uppers. They started down there because they were 1-6 going into this part of the season.
Yep. They came from the streets, Flowers. And now they're here at the finals, and in large part due to Quid right here. And getting the flash as well, that is big.
I mean, Quad making a pretty big mistake there. Was very low, got greedy. He wanted to finish off those range minions before he based, but he walks up while Quid is hitting him to use the laser, not even on Quid, but on those range minions. And now this is Quad with no flash. They could look here. River is hanging on the side.
Yeah, Quad has got to be mindful of this, man.
And Quid constantly is going to be able to position very aggressively and threaten with his shockwave because Quad here, without flash, has to play so safe. It's really going to have ramifications for like the next few minutes as far as the lane phase does go. Busio now coming over to give Quad some extra help and extra security. Now Quad knows, all right, both sides of my lane are clear. Now I'm safe, and now we can attack Quid. No flash on the Ori.
All right, Quid in some danger as Inspired jumps forward, but the Wukong is not yet level 6, so he cannot lock the Orianna up long enough. Now Busio goes in for the crash down. Public execution coming in from Bwipo, and Quid is down. FlyQuest sends the whole crew.
That is great coordination from FlyQuest. Busio goes in, he can lock him up so that Bwipo guarantees hits the Ambessa ultimate. And 100 Thieves, you have to say, maybe there's a little breakdown in communication there. Like, he wasn't scared enough about the possibility of Bwipo coming down. Really nice timing there from FlyQuest. FlyQuest just sent everybody towards mid lane. Massu's the only one who didn't come on over. And FlyQuest, they do even up those scales for mid lane.
I mean, I can sympathize, with Quid's thought process in that moment where, you see 1, you see 2, you see 3, and you're like, okay, well, I'm out here. Surely that's it, right? Like, surely there's no more. But Bwipo arrives as well. And FlyQuest doing a great job of supporting Quad here. That had been one of the kind of stories, one of the things that people were pointing to as a potential weakness for FlyQuest is people were saying, well, they don't really play around Quad, and sometimes he can be preyed upon. But Quad, I think, has been stepping up in the best of fives, and FlyQuest is making sure that he is in a good spot this game. He made a mistake. He did get taken down in that 1v1, but they are right back over there with the entire team to get him a kill.
Exactly. They go to defend their boy after he got taken out and had no flash and was vulnerable. So we'll see now about the lane swaps as Dhokla on the bottom side is just matching up here versus Massu, and they're teleporting Busio back out to mid lane for the grubs.
Exactly. The grub timer is now, and 100 Thieves are already in the pit. River jumping back towards Inspired there. FBI standing right beside his jungler to make sure they maintain control over this area. Busio and Inspired making their way up. Busio not level 6, no Magnet Storm available for this Rell. First grub already claimed by 100 Thieves. They're trying to stick around and fight here for the second and third. Eyla Clone's going to do a little bit of scouting as Dhokla has Massu trapped into the turret down in the bottom lane at the same time. Second grub down to about 1,000 HP. Nicely done. Secured by River. That's 2 grubs guaranteed for 100 Thieves. They know they've already got the majority, so now they'll walk away.
This is very well navigated. And Dhokla, in the meanwhile, you know, pushed Massu under the tower, like you said. Also got a plate down there, and now is going to draw the TP from Bwipo. So really well done by 100 Thieves.
Another thing going well, we saw FBI on the Senna yesterday stacking super well, and the Smolder here, you know, he picked it into a lane 2v2 that's got a melee champ in it. He can try and stack off, and then with the lane swap, he also was able to stack off of Bwipo. So this Smolder is in a fairly good spot for 100 Thieves, and we saw how well it went for 100 Thieves when they had this stacking Senna go well.
Yeah, absolutely. And FBI, you know, he was the player of the series against Shopify. This guy was incredible. 22, 1, and 26. Like, are you kidding me?
That's crazy stuff.
No, not kidding. That's real.
That is nuts, man. As a scoreline for an entire series, he went off, was really playing well. And FBI, when he is at his best, this guy is a threat. This guy can take over games, take over series, just like he did against Shopify.
Yeah, and he called it himself too. We even listened in on the comms where he's calling bot gap. But here, yeah, able to stack up really easily since they're constantly swapping back, and it's going to turn into the Dragon Control as well. Remember, since 100 Thieves got 2 of the grubs, they got their objective there, and now they're going to get the objective here with the Dragon, so that will be 2 towards their feats.
And we have so many players, you know, on these comfort picks in this game, you know, that we've talked about. Dhokla, again, on the rumble, 4-0, hasn't lost on it since he came back. This is one of the reasons that a lot of people were talking about them wanting Dhokla to come in.
Hold on. Bwipo in some serious danger. Pop blocks and forces him to flash away. If he gets caught up in that CC, gets hit by Mom, and then the follow-up damage from FBI, that's a kill. So great pressure again coming out from the 100 Thieves bottom side duo right after they get done picking up that Dragon that we're talking about. 100 Thieves has had an awesome first 10 minutes.
They certainly have. Let's see about the Busio roam here, because he's just coming to help Bwipo. Again, after Bwipo was just under attack so heavily, Busio makes sure there's going to be no dive here. Then he clears out the vision as well. He's constantly like tending to the map. When Quad got hurt, he went over there, helped out mid lane, and same thing here for the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that Busio really does well for FlyQuest, is he's often the one covering, allowing Inspired to get that extra farm, but Dhokla could be in trouble.
Yeah, Dhokla going to be the target here for Inspired, but as soon as River shows up, that means FlyQuest does not want to overcommit. Quad would have had to put himself way too far forward for that Jarvan to have an easy target access. As Quid has to get away from Massu, now Busio stepping forward here, crash down back onto Eyla instead, just for a little bit more trading. But nice read there from River, recognizing that could be an opportunity for FlyQuest to try to punish Dhokla, shadowing him, getting him away safely.
Yeah, I mean, still a good value gank from Inspired too, because he just has to show up on Wukong. Doesn't even take very long, and he gets the flash. Now both top laners will be vulnerable to follow-up ganks.
I mean, Inspired is just such an efficient jungler, right? He's always going to maximize farm, and he has such good mechanics and such good team fighting that he really gets the most from it. But that is kind of what I wanted to talk about with Busio, is how his playstyle also helps to enable what Inspired wants to do, because he can take these moments to cover his laners, and that allows Inspired to continue focusing on farm, focusing on that level. And it also often results in an experience advantage for Massu, because he's usually the one that's left in these isolated 1v1s and kind of collecting that XP in a solo lane.
Okay, it's still a 500 gold lead for 100 Thieves. First items coming online in a lot of different locations. Junglers have the Trinity Force and Sundered Sky, respectively. Dhokla does have Leandry's on that Rumble. Also has his teleport ready to go for the next time that a big fight breaks out. That Rumble could be a huge contributing factor. Quad getting the Rod of Ages online at around the 12-minute mark. Generally where you expect a Viktor to kind of get rolling early on with this item, so that'll be fully stacked around 22. And we're still waiting to see Quid get that fully completed for himself.
Honestly, if we're going to see some sort of action here in the 2 minutes between objectives before we have any objective on the map to fight over, we're definitely looking at a jungle invade at the moment because River wants to pressure.
Yes, he does, but Inspired is not going to allow him. Just immediately smites down that blue buff, guarantees 100 Thieves cannot find any more smaller wins. However, the Thieves are placing down more vision. They're trying to make it so they get these unexpected opportunities to catch somebody on FlyQuest off guard through a rotation.
And as soon as they place it down, FlyQuest are there, they clean it back out. Busio with Inspired as a duo, sticking together, uses his sweeper, they clear out the vision so that Inspired gets to jungle in peace.
It's always the best to know that your team is making it so you're not going to constantly get harassed when you're just trying to farm up a couple of Gromps, a couple of Wolves.
The support has a lot of jobs, you know? You gotta go defend everybody, you gotta clean up the jungle, pick up all the garbage here, make sure your jungler is gonna be able to jungle in peace. And now they can actually look for a play on the opposite side of the map. These flashes that were blown for both top laners, looks like both River and Busio have some ideas here, and so kind of mirrored at the moment.
Okay, River does find a good angle there on Busio as he tries to clear out that ward. Finds some quick damage onto him, but obviously nothing to threaten anything lethal. 1 minute now left on the clock until both the Dragon and the Herald spawn. So this is where I'm looking at to see if anybody can force someone. Summoner spells out at a critical time, force a bad recall, could lead to a free objective. There are Unleashed teleports ready to go for Quad, Bwipo, and Dhokla, but Quid still has about a quarter of the timer left on it, and that's something that could play a pretty major role if FlyQuest want to try to jump on one of these objectives as soon as it spawns.
All right, well, we are still going to look at Busio clearing out garbage from the jungle.
Yep, that's his job. He's the trash man.
Returning right back to his duty.
And you can see Bwipo going Cyclo Sword here. So he did make a pit stop for that Hex Shrinker, but now as Hex Shrinker plus Cyclo Sword, so much damage done by this item. It is really powerful in those side lanes. And there's also triple AP threats between the Neeko, the Ori, and the Rumble. So I do think the build makes a lot of sense.
And I do like it because the enemy team is also fairly squishy. The enemy team we talked about in draft are going to have to rely a lot on the Jarvan and the Neeko as their setup. They have plenty of damage, but Eyla and River really have to be on point here to set that damage up. And so Bwipo is kind of building to punish some squishies here. Cyclo Sword goes a long way towards getting some solo kills.
All right, FlyQuest are deciding they are going to prioritize control of this bottom side river, at least right now. Inspired will clear out enemy vision from the Dragon Pit, but he does not want to immediately start the objective because they know 100 Thieves are still around the area. Dhokla overheated right now, going to go back to 0 heat as that runs out. Eyla and River also waiting nearby, ready to try to punish if FlyQuest wants to continue the objective. Eyla clones the only thing that's going to go forward for now. Ward back over the wall there to get an eye on FlyQuest.
And since they're keeping Smolder mid here, just farming up Smolder stacks. Okay, they actually call FBI now.
Okay, River's coming in to try to smite fight, but Inspired has already secured the objective. A TP summoned up here as Quid arrives back into the mid lane for 100 Thieves, but the objective already belongs to Fly.
This is horrible for 100 Thieves. They teleported also. Wait a second. All right, now we're having the Viktor come teleport to defend, but there's 4 people here.
Okay, Inspired ready to try to defend his own mid laner, but Quad is dead. 100 Thieves makes the 4-man play here in the mid lane, and they find the pick on Quad.
So they teleport in late, they watch the objective go down, and then they still just force mid and get a kill! The Thieves, they actually made that good for themselves. They get the kill because Quad teleports in, they immediately tower dive, and now they're going to be able to answer with the Rift Herald.
And I actually really like the way they played that out as Inspired maybe looking to challenge.
Yeah, he jumps in there, finds some quick burst with FBI. Busio goes in for the Magnet Storm, catches everybody except for the AD carry. Massu needs to stack this up fast. River taking a ton of damage, but he does not die just yet. TP coming in now. Dhokla ready to join up with the rest of 100 Thieves. Herald down to about 2,600 HP. Inspired still around. He's got the eyeball. He's got the smite. The eyeball's on the floor when Inspired wants to go in and claim it, but he takes a whole lot of damage. damage trying to do it, now having to flash away. Inspired wanted to make it happen, and Bwipo misses public execution. Now Busio in danger on the backside of the fight. 100 Thieves looking for health bars. Quad's made his way back in now as well, but he can't get anything. The rest of FlyQuest can't set it up for the Viktor. Somehow, nobody's dead here.
Oh, it's so scrappy. And in the end, 100 Thieves, as they're pulling the Rift Herald back, it just turns around. So then Inspired has access to the eyeball combo with the smite, and he's able to get it. Okay, and in the end, they did pick up the eyeball as well. Bwipo's got it now. He's going to use it topside. So FlyQuest, wait a second.
Hold on, Bwipo walks right into the tri-brush. Dhokla's waiting on him, and River's right behind him. Now Bwipo jumps into the Herald to avoid disaster, gets himself back away. You know, he summoned it up top, but maybe it's just a long road to mid.
I think it's going to expire. I don't think he's going to make it. We'll see.
Oh, just barely didn't get there. But the most important thing is he did not die.
He did not die, but there's still a cost to that. He flashed and he used the Herald for no charge, right? So there is still a good reward for the 100 Thieves finding him in that brush. Not only you force the flash, you waste the Herald, so they're going to get no crash, no tower from that. And it does mean that the first tower feat that you would think would be going FlyQuest's way is now still available.
I love how scrappy this game has just become. So FBI flashes away from the Rell engage, or it could have been even worse for 100 Thieves. But then the teleport comes in earlier for the Rumble. So Dhokla arriving first. You think 100 Thieves fully have this. But Rift Herald's losing patience, so they pull it back here, and Inspired says, yep, thank you very much. Just yoink that one away.
Yep, and this one just got so delayed that with the Hex Gates, Quad was able to walk all the way back, rejoin the fight, and it just gets crazy going back and forth. You know, Busio's having to flash out on one side. As soon as Quad arrives, it's able to get them the space to pick up the eye, which didn't really end up paying big dividends, but still at least kept Bwipo safe on the top side.
What a close game, as the gold lead isn't even a couple hundred for either side. And gentlemen, it's 45 seconds until Doomsday. Otacon is ready to spawn in the top side of the map, and we'll see whose attention he draws first. Bwipo's about to be in some danger, though, as River immediately jumps over the wall. Bwipo tries to find something back at the public execution, but there ain't no way, man. 100 Thieves sets the trap, and Bwipo takes the bait. Now, Busio trying to clear out the wave in time, guaranteed that 100 Thieves cannot force down this turret. He will clear that single wave, but he won't be able to hold out any longer. His teammates up in the top side trying to race it, and they do get the time. Busio stalls for long enough.
That's actually a really big play there from Busio. Heads up to go and clear out the wave, just barely earns them that first tower.
And even a bigger heads-up play is the 100 Thieves original play, hiding on the fog of war here. I want to hear comms, because I feel like that's a River call. He's like, hide in this little piece of fog of war, and Bwipo's going to come on through, and we'll jump on him. But they find their kill. The race goes the way of FlyQuest, which now means we're looking at the next objective, this dragon in 40 seconds. That thing could be the objective that actually gets it 200 Thieves feats, or is traded for an Otacon on the top side, which has tremendous value. So a lot of effort being put in here to at least keep vision around this Otacon. Don't worry, Flowers, they're not going to just randomly hit it.
Well, it's feats for either side, no matter what objective it is, because it's Grubs on one side, Herald on the other, one dragon for each one, and one's got the tower feat, one's got the warfare feat. The boots are going one way or the other. Otacon's up there on the top side, dragon spawning in 8 seconds on the other end of the map. Let's see here, this mid lane tier 1 turret for FlyQuest just barely hanging on.
So Flowers, you wanted to track some big plays between these two guys, who are two of the favorites for Kia Player of the Year. I think Busio gets one here.
Give Busio a tally.
We're giving him one.
Saving that tower long enough to earn the feat, stop 100 Thieves from getting the shoes, that's important.
First big play of the day. There we go.
All right, here comes the dragon we were talking about. Teleport comes in. This is going to be a full 10-person banger.
Okay, 100 Thieves have control over the objective, control over the pit. The dragon is not being DPS'd very quickly. They're taking their time on this one. Bwipo takes a quick chunk of damage from Quid on the other side of the fight. Dragon down to half HP. FlyQuest moving forward now. Busio there with a flank. It's the Magnet Storm again. 100 Thieves! But the Shockwave! It's a massive counterattack! The Shockwave lands. Ayla's very low. Inspired looking for a little bit more. FBI still alive. Quad needs to provide a little bit of extra damage. It's Inspired and Quad versus Quid and FBI. Inspired needs a little more. 150 HP is all that Smolder survives with, but it is enough for now. Inspired drops. 100 Thieves, the team fighting, shows up again.
The last time was the Yone in the same position today to kick off finals. It is the Orianna for Quid, and that shockwave was just as nice.
Let's see, where's our counter for Quid big plays? Because we're going to need a lot. All right, Busio, though, he goes in. The engage looks really good. Inspired then could follow up with the Wukong knockup, but Eyla flashes over the top of this wall. Eyla locks them up with the Neeko ultimate, and then Quid brings them all together with that shockwave. It just was such a massive combination, and we did highlight so much how Eyla and River are going to have to set them up. And Eyla really did this time around. That was huge. With the Neeko ultimate into the shockwave, and now the Dragon's still available. They're burning it down, Flowers.
We're right back to it. 100 Thieves have the objective, again, down to about 2/3 HP. FlyQuest on the approach. Ultimates critically about to come back up, but many of them still with a few seconds left on the timer. Bwipo on the bottom side flank of the fight. FlyQuest now on top of the Drake themselves. Inspired waiting for his moment to jump in over the wall. Now River's going to get bursted low, and the Drake is stolen away by Inspired and FlyQuest. Bwipo's in the middle of everybody, but Mom comes roaring in. Inspired still barely alive, and Busio dies to Quid. Bwipo on the run, but he's isolated from the rest of FlyQuest. Dhokla wants to hunt him down. He needs another Electro Harpoon, but he will not find it. FlyQuest continues making their distance. Critically, they were the ones who secured the Drake, so they'll secure the feats as well.
It is hard to steal objectives away from River, but Inspired does it here. It's still at the cost of the team fight, though. 100 Thieves still fighting very well. They kind of pull back into that tri-brush.
Yeah, it's a really good steal here from Inspired. FBI was marking Busio over the wall, and then they go in. He's able to burst it down. River just getting focused. The rest of 100 Thieves couldn't really join in on the fight. Bwipo finds a pretty good angle here, but with the equalizer and the shockwave, they get Inspired low. Mom can't connect, so Inspired does limp out, but 100 Thieves at least get a kill back.
If that's what we got for the third dragon of the game, imagine what we're going to get for Otacon. This is about to be a spicy side of the map, my friends. Baron's going to spawn here in 45 seconds as well, which means this could be a real 1-2 punch that completely blows open a close game if one team takes a decisive fight.
Exactly. This game is so close right now, with fights going both ways. Really depends on the positioning beforehand. I will say, though, Quid here, level 16 over Quad. He is a full level over this Viktor. And level 16 for control mages is huge. Like, that level 3 shockwave, that thing is definitely going to be very painful. So we'll see if the experience advantage means a lot. His arm guard is now broken, though, so no extra safety for Quid, though he does have the extra power of the full 10 stacks on his Dark Seal.
So as the arbiter of big plays, Flowers, was that Smite steal counting as a big play? Are we giving him a point?
Against River, come on. You got to give him
all right, I'll give him a point because it's against River.
Over here.
Because it's against River.
It's all tied up.
Okay, well, all right, we're all tied up.
1-1.
We're 1-1. Worth pointing out as well, because we haven't been talking a ton about it, FBI has 225 stacks on the Smolder, but FlyQuest is already starting up the Otacon. 100 Thieves coming in. River takes the Hex Gate. 100 Thieves trying to secure themselves the Scuttle Crab for the big burst of vision. FlyQuest have the Otacon down to 1/3 HP. River's making his way forward. Golden Aegis pop just so he can walk up a little bit further. 100 Thieves coming in to challenge. Busio wants to keep everybody away, and FlyQuest are ready to try to turn and burn, but again, Eyla turning around with a Pop Blossom. Inspired is low. River is already down. FlyQuest have killed 2. 100 Thieves, though, looking for an isolated Bwipo when they find him. FlyQuest only have 2 men left standing, and they are not standing tall.
And the Otacon lives! It's still alive! Messing with
Massu died! The Flame Spitter! Massu's recall just barely didn't have enough time to complete, and Dhokla, with the Flame Spitter into the brush, takes him down. Now with only Quad left alive on the FlyQuest side, 100 Thieves are pushing down mid.
They're going to open up mid really easily here. The second tower goes down. Extra gold for the Thieves after the fight. Dhokla even pushes it on top side. I mean, that one was crazy. So River got close enough to make them think like, hey, I could steal this at any point. You've seen me do it before. So FlyQuest, they turn onto River. He gets off his Cataclysm just before he dies, and it's enough for 100 Thieves to actually burst them down. But FlyQuest, on the reset here, this Otacon is still available, so you kind of got to get back there to defend.
And, I mean, look at how fed some of these carries are now getting on the 100 Thieves side. The 2 richest men in the game, Quid and FBI, 6-1 and 5. The IE just got finished now as well for FBI. They are monstrously strong, and FlyQuest are really going to have some problems.
And that money's meaningful because he got to finish, upgrade his arm guard into the Zonias now. Quid's going to have the extra safety. Let's see about round 2 here with the Otacon. Quad is still not level 16 on the Viktor, though.
100 Thieves have the entire team up here to force down this tier 1 turret. They've got the extra power of the 2 grubs. Their carries are so fed.
Bwipo's bot.
Otacon's going to be their target here. Bwipo is on the other side of the map. He does have his teleport to come up here and try to stop this if that's what they choose to do. The rest of FlyQuest is hanging around the area. Otacon down to half HP. 100 Thieves staying on the objective for now. Bwipo still pushing bottom side.
Oh, Dhokla flank.
Dhokla's coming around from the side. The Otacon's down to 3,000 HP. Quid's going to be the target here for FlyQuest, but a nice use of Zonius keeps him alive. River's going to be killed off first instead. Ayla's under pressure. Bwipo into the fight. Quid trying to get away. Busio and Quad fighting back as FBI goes in for the enemy mid laner, and he burns him down. Bwipo's still alive with a shutdown on FBI. Now Bwipo goes back in. The Ambessa's going to try to be the hero today. Bwipo looking for the angle. Back in against Big Dose, but he's overheated. The melee attacks hurt so much. Bwipo is the only man standing on FlyQuest. It is a 4 for 3 for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, they get one extra kill, but Inspired got the Otacon before he died. With his dying breath, he actually got it.
Inspired steals another objective away. It's an absolute bloodbath at the Otacon. This was crazy. Inspired decides to full send it on Quid, but watch how quickly Quid reacts with the Zonias. He negates so much damage when FlyQuest try to pull the trigger on him here. He's instantaneously going into the Zonias before the laser can hit. They negate so much there, and FBI is free firing. This counter engage comes over with the equalizer, with Ayla's ultimate, with everything getting piled in. And FlyQuest starts getting roasted.
And then look at this Otacon. It just gets queued down. That's not even a smite that he gets it with before he dies. It's the big bonk. All right, back to the dragon though. 100 Thieves are going to claim the objective on the other side of the map.
Isaac, I think we got to give him another point. I think Inspired has got to get another point for stealing that Otacon away in a fight that was so hectic.
That's 2.
This game is so close. You got to get every single thing you possibly can. It all matters. Inspired securing that one there. Very important for FlyQuest because they are still 3,000 gold behind 100 Thieves. There are Zonia's Hourglass available on both Dhokla and Quid. FBI is a 3-1-9 Smolder with a rapid-fire cannon. Finding these targets is so difficult.
That is definitely a big play. As a jungler, even just watching that, my hands are shaking. With the seeing Otacon be at 400 health, then 300 health, you're like, what?
You are clenching.
Somebody get that.
I mean, especially against River, I feel like River is the smite god. This guy steals so many objectives. So credit to Inspired. Obviously, Wukong, with that Q smite, has a good finish here and is able to pull it off a couple times. He's level 16 now, 2 levels up on River currently. Of course, River isn't more than halfway towards 15. But Inspired is a real threat. We can see, though, Quid on 3.5 items here, has the Magi's upgraded. Their carries are so powerful on the 100 Thieves side here. And it's been a really impressive game number 1 from 100 Thieves, because honestly, I didn't know if they could just go toe-to-toe with FlyQuest in a more standard style of composition. And they are really showing that they have improved by leaps and bounds.
I mean, this is showing me, yeah, 100 Thieves is the real deal. Because the conversation all year has been about how FlyQuest is at the top. If they have a challenger, it's C9. And everybody else is trying to get up there. 100 Thieves have defeated all other opponents. But now to be able to go toe-to-toe with FlyQuest and beat them in a straight-up fight like this is very impressive stuff.
I mean, just look at the before-after here. Since adding Dhokla, the team went from 0-4 to 13-5. They really have been able to turn things around in an incredible way.
And I also think, with the addition of Dhokla, a lot of the other players are also just individually playing better. We're really seeing some vintage Quid and River plays and FBI plays once again. And Eyla here with the setup on the Neeko.
Going deep behind. They're trying to look for a flank potentially here, but he got spotted.
Yeah, Bwipo and Inspired moving around together. Quad also does have his teleport available, and so he's going to move up, join up with the rest of the team. Both sides smelling a fight on the way as Bwipo has to try to get away. Nice slow coming through from FBI, Quid, and Dhokla. They force the flash out of Bwipo's Ambessa, and he has got to keep running.
He does. The rest of the team coming up the river to try and defend as well. So 100 Thieves do not overchase. And they're going to actually just retain control over the vision here around Baron. This is going to continue to put pressure on FlyQuest. This constant vision control is very dangerous, and you start to lose out on small amounts of resources as 100 Thieves continue to control the area.
Absolutely. And while they do get that flash, they obviously are down in the equalizer for now. So 100 Thieves aren't going to want to fight until that equalizer is back up. That is when the advantage is at its maximum.
Yeah.
Especially with Dhokla at level 16. Also worth noting, Eyla has a Seekers right now. So it's going to be hard for him to ever finish that Zhonya's this game, but he's going to have that one really explosive moment, and you have to make the most of it when you are playing support, because this late in the game, you just don't get continuous gold. You really are going to struggle to ever finish Zhonya's.
And looking at this scoreboard right now, the biggest individual lead by a significant margin is in that mid lane. Bwipo's trying to find an opportunity here on Dhokla in the bottom side. Knocks him down to about half HP here pretty quickly. Dhokla returning with some firepower of his own.
They're going
Does
Baron.
pop his Zhonya's. 100 Thieves are going after the Baron here at the same time as Bwipo finishes the solo kill on Dhokla in the bottom lane. FlyQuest moving in. The Baron's already down to 4,000 HP. Eyla with a defensive pop blossom, just looking to keep Inspired away, but the Baron has already been claimed by 100 Thieves. Inspired and the rest of FlyQuest are looking to cut off the escape route. Quid tagged by the Arc of Ruin and beat down with a follow-up from FlyQuest. Inspired has found his way over the back line. He's looking for FBI with a little bit more damage from Cyclone too, but he cannot find it. FBI survives, but the rest of the Thieves are going straight to jail. FBI finally falls, a double kill back over to Massu, and Bwipo is at the enemy gates.
This is crazy from FlyQuest. They might have just ended the game right here, right now. Inspired got a solo kill on FBI in the midst of his whole team. They're pushing bot, and they're looking to end game number 1.
It's 10 seconds on Dhokla, but everybody else won't be back for half a minute. FlyQuest has everybody except Inspired, and they're pushing on to Nexus turrets. They want to make this the ending push, but Dhokla drops the equalizer and stops them in their tracks. FlyQuest still hanging around a little bit longer, but it looks like the game will go on.
What a banger we are seeing in the finals here between 100 Thieves and FlyQuest, pushing each other to the edge. Now, Bwipo, he has the support of his team behind him, so he goes for this 1v1. And again, he went the Cyclo Sword build. He is very well prepared to just win a 1v1 anyways. So the rest of his team, now when they get this information on the Baron start, you see the rest of FlyQuest running over there. And even though they don't get there in time to actually contest that Baron, they get all the kills in the chase down.
And how about that from Busio? TP's into bot lane, drops the redemption, then runs up towards that top side. And we have to watch Inspired here. He gets kept out by Eyla, but Eyla has to commit the ult. Inspired is able to find a solo kill. He's level 16 on the Wukong. He gets in, and I don't know if we're going to see the extended play, but he's able to actually kill off FBI solo and forces summoners. He burned him down with the red buff, I think it was, at the end of the fight. No one else dealt a point of damage to him.
Yeah, that chase down was huge for FlyQuest. Of course, when you're looking back at it for 100 Thieves, you're like, oh, well, we should have just like sacrificed somebody. But they like try and stick around and end up losing even more players trying to get Quid out, because Quid had a bounty on his head. And he was the one that was like furthest behind with the Baron. But that is just tremendous here for FlyQuest, getting all of that back for themselves. And now they're the ones at soul point when the next dragon does come up. It's going to be big.
And that kill pays extra dividends because now Quid lost all his Magi stacks and sold it, right? So that is gone. That's a little bit of gold lost as well. And 100 Thieves going to have to really be on point now. Your base is cracked. No inhibitor on that bot side. That means one majorly lost fight, the game will end. They will be able to push in and close it out here.
Bwipo's Ambessa, almost full build here with this champion. 2 lethality items, plus Spear of Shojin means he does so much. It's how we saw him just spamming those abilities out, seemingly like it's Earth mode in that bottom lane 1v1 against Dhokla, as FlyQuest continue to try to choke 100 Thieves out of their own jungle. They want to put down as much vision as possible. River's going to do everything he can to clear that away. It's still another couple of minutes before we have a Baron to fight for, before we have that soul point for FlyQuest to fight for, and they want to make sure that they're building as many resources as they can. But Eyla with a pop blossom on Massu. 100 Thieves jumping in to try to take out the FlyQuest AD carry, but instead it's Bwipo into the back line. Now Eyla's going to be the first to die. Surely, no! It's FBI! The Smolder is down and 100 Thieves have been routed! FlyQuest find exactly the angle they were looking for, and it spells doom for 100 Thieves. That is an ace for nothing.
The FlyQuest Avengers! The FlyQuest Avengers assemble to defend Massu as he checks the brush, and they're going to take game 1.
They'll march it straight down mid lane. 100 Thieves fought them tooth and nail for 36 minutes. But as soon as you give FlyQuest an opening, they're going to take it all the 19 to 18. Game one goes to FlyQuest.
That was such a banger. Back and forth game one. You can't ask for any more than that. What do you think, Lounge?